It's Death Metal Week here on the podcast, so get your devil horns ready and loosen up your necks for headbanging. And since my co-hosts are old, take some ibuprofen for the arthritic devil fingers and sore necks. It's Metalocalypse Now, here on the Rocklopedia Fake Bandica. Welcome to the Rocklopedia Fake Bandica. I'm Charles. There's Alan.
Hi, Charles.
There's T-Mike.
Hello, everybody.
In the world of Metalocalypse, people see the band Dethklok live and they have to sign accidental death and dismember waivers. I don't think that applies to podcasts about the band, but we'll talk more about some business while you listeners sign away your lawsuit rights just in case, okay? So does anybody have any news to discuss, T-Mike? Is there any emails or anything?
No, I do not, but, keep coming. Email us, baby, at fakebands@vgg.com. Email us for any reason whatsoever. You can just send us a blank
reason.
No, you can just send us a blank email and we'll be like, oh, somebody thought of us.
Cares.
Okay, that's true. Okay,
or you could request a free book, baby. You could get a free book out of us.
That's right.
I do want to mention we still have tickets available that we got for the runarounds.
That's right.
For anybody local.
The show.
If
October
they want to come
15th,
see them.
right?
October 15th at Cat's Cradle. So if you're still interested, let us know.
Time is running out.
I did find out something a little weird about a fake band that we've talked about before.
We have, okay.
You guys are familiar with Mac Tonight, right?
Oh my God, that's way back, baby. That was a McDonald's ad campaign from the early 90s, late 80s?
Late 80s, I think, yeah, maybe. But
and it was like a crazy guy in like a tuxedo at a big grand piano, and the thing was he had a giant crescent moon for a head.
the thing was like selling McDonald's as being like a late night place to get food late at night or whatever.
And he sang the old Bobby Darin tune, Mac the Knife, only it was Mac Tonight, right?
Yeah. And it was Doug Jones, the guy who does all he's like a contortionist guy. He's in the movie with the woman who gets involved with the fish guy.
A Fish Called Wanda?
Fish called no. The one who won an Oscar, I believe, for the best picture, the woman who falls in love with the fish monster guy. That thing, yeah.
That one.
But he was in the Hellboy Hellboy movies. He was the fawn and the dude with the eyes in his hands.
Wow. Okay.
Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's like he's like probably the only.
So he was the body of Mac.
He was the body of Mac Tonight. Wow. I think it was like one of his first roles. Yeah.
So Mac Tonight, crescent moon head, sunglasses, Bobby Darin,
super cool kind of lounge guy.
So that's how I remembered him back in the day. So I'm reading the news, and I'll give you a little excerpt of this news article here. A video posted on X by the Department of Homeland Security included a brief flash of a character who has become associated with violent, racist, and neo-Nazi content online. The clip, which was published on Thursday evening, featured the text that says, "Life after all criminal aliens are deported, and the future is bright," alongside a quick succession of vintage shots and activities. Mac Tonight, also known as the Moon Man, was used in McDonald's marketings for commercials in the 1980s. And then it goes on to say, it's, more recently, Mac Tonight character has become popular with far-right activists and neo-Nazis online.
No.
Weird.
First they ruined Hawaiian shirts, and they ruined tiki torches, and they ruined the I'm going to punch you symbol that you sneak into, you trick your friends into looking at. And now they're going to ruin Mac Tonight.
In 2019, the Anti-Defamation League added Mac Tonight to its database of hate symbols that the organization says are among the most frequently used by a variety of white supremacist groups and movements, as well as some other types of hate groups.
Wow.
You know what?
Mac Tonight.
I blame 4chan. I don't know why or how or who or when or where, but I'm going to blame 4chan.
First off, I want to say congratulations to the three of us for not knowing this.
Yeah.
Right?
Too, yeah.
It would have been really awkward if one of you said, yes, I'm very familiar with this.
No, Jeebus.
Yes, that's kind of disappointing, isn't it?
Wow.
I'm glad there's some corner of the internet I'm unfamiliar with.
Well, yeah, but so now we can't really make any Mac Tonight references anymore because
Like we were making so many before.
sometimes it's been mentioned in the show before.
True. I mean,
Yeah,
he was
true.
a musical character from a TV show that's fictional. So, of course, yeah, he's in there.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
this adds a whole nother paragraph to his entry I got to work on.
They're ruining fake bands for people now.
Now they've crossed the line. Now it's personal.
Hold on.
Now it's personal.
Hold on a second here, though. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia thing, and first off, apparently it was very popular among Seth Meyers fans. I guess apparently he had a Moon Man thing, like a moon. But I guess Moon Man is an unofficial parody of Mac Tonight, originated in 2007 on the internet meme community You the Man Now Dog, in which the character is depicted as being a white supremacist. And then it became popular on the Paul board of 4chan. So you were right. So
I knew it. I knew it.
So the Moon Man is Moon Man. It may not necessarily be the same thing as Mac
Okay. So
Tonight.
we need a separate entry for Moon Man.
Yeah.
Because that's a separate thing. One's a parody of
Are
the
we
other.
going to really put that in entry the database?
Oh
I
Lord.
guess if we're being thorough, we kind of have to.
I think it helps protect the reputation of Mac Tonight
Well,
to
it sounds
separate,
like-
not to be confused
So it's kind
with.
of like a Pepe the Frog thing, which was not really
Was it-
originally
No.
racist, but it kind of got subverted and
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
Or your beloved tiki torches.
No, my beloved Hawaiian shirts.
I was going to say,
I'm
T
not
Mike
as
used to
big-
have
He did have a lot of wine
a
torches.
lot of
I still
vintage,
have a lot of vintage
and you just
Hawaiian
can't
shirts.
pull them out, huh?
Well, I thought I could, but apparently I got to wait for things to cool down again.
You can't wear them with your giant crescent moon hat that you like to wear.
Yeah.
And my tiki can't wave my tiki torch around, and my shirt, and
That's
my
true.
moon
In the
head.
early 2000s, T-Mac was the only non-dumpy white guy wearing Hawaiian shirts in LA.
Yeah.
I think he was. I think he was the only svelte Hawaiian shirt wearer.
With a fez. He had a
Yeah,
fez,
that's
too.
true.
Yeah. Fortunately, now I've filled out to where I
You gotta fit.
appropriately sized for Hawaiian shirts.
Okay, so, in the theater,
Yes,
in the
in the
theater, there's a
theater.
thing called the Scottish play.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yes, uh-huh.
That's because people don't want to say Macbeth because
Right,
bad
yeah.
things happen, right?
Were we supposed to say the Scottish McDonald's piano player?
I remember we used to say Macbeth before our show.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And obviously they went so well.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's why we're doing this
why we're here,
podcast. Yeah. But yeah, so there was a big thing because it was, there was a problem. You can't say
Theater
it.
superstition.
yeah.
You don't say good luck. You say break a leg. It's one of
I'm
those
thinking
things.
that Metalocalypse is going to be our Scottish play.
You think so?
With all the problems that we've had from when we started talking about this
Doing
all the
an
way
episode.
to now, it's been a little bit of a challenge to do this episode.
Yeah. So
Well, I got bogged down. I tried to binge watch the entire series, and
And you freaked out and lost it and
Yeah.
ran away for a while.
it was not. It kind of got to me.
That's why you didn't get your birthday celebration.
That's right.
That's why you didn't get your birthday presents
Oh,
or any of that
yeah.
stuff because
Next
you
year.
freaked out on us.
I didn't freak
And
out.
then
that poor puppy. You think you could have fed it, Charles?
I even had a present, and then it was going to be like a giveaway to somebody to write in as well to have
Whoa.
matching presents with T Mike.
Uh-huh.
We'll do it for next year.
Puppies for all.
No puppies, but we'll do it for next year.
All right,
It'll
all
be.
right.
But and then we waited a while for a few more weeks, and then we were like, oh, now it's Spinal Tap
Yeah.
stuff. We're not going to do it. And then we had this on the schedule, and we had to move when we recorded a couple of days. And when did you finish the script, Alan? Like 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing has just been on us.
It's our Brian Wilson's
White
Smile album.
This
for
is
us.
the one that we're going to have to call this the metal show, just
metal
because
show? Yeah.
we can't talk about
It's
it.
brutal.
So Metalocalypse,
Right?
animated show
Exactly.
on Adult Swim, ran from 2006 to 2013. It was on the air for what is that, Charles? Like 47 years?
No,
That's seven
years.
seven
years.
I got
You
seven.
guys in your math.
For a total of how many episodes? 7 years. How many episodes you're knocking out?
Well, okay, if you're going to do it right, 7 years, you're going to probably try to do like 15 to 20. So, I mean, we're going to be talking about 140 is what I'm
Well,
gonna
these
say.
are actually half length. Most of these were 15-minute shows.
15 minutes, and you should probably get like 300.
61 episodes.
All right, you guys really weren't burning the midnight oil with
the
this
Fat
one.
Albert show?
I mean, this is
Fat
kind
Albert, the Cosby Kids. They had like 3 episodes of that. They just ran over and over.
This is kind of the same era as the Venture Brothers, which was on for like 20 some years and really doesn't have that many episodes, but it's great, you know. And
we just started watching. Tom and I were starting before he left.
Venture Brothers is amazing. It's such a great show. Yeah. It's got 61 episodes, 1 hour-long rock opera, and it's got straight-to-streaming movie.
Yeah, they made that to
kind of wrap it up.
Wrap it all up like a decade later or something.
Yeah. So there's a ton of music in the series, but we actually, before we get to that, we need to discuss a show that came before Metalocalypse that made it possible, Home Movies.
Oh, yeah, that's a good show.
It's a great show. You've seen Home Movies, right?
Yeah, and we need to talk about, I've seen it a few times. There's some fake bands in there.
There's some fake bands in there. We'll probably have its own show. It's worth noting that the show was basically about these 3 little kids. I think they're like 7 and 8 year olds, and they make movies. And so in like there's the overall, like each episode has like thin plot, but it's punctuated by the movies they make, and they're parodies.
They have a camcorder, and so they're doing like parodies of different genres.
And so it's really fun. And it came about because of Tom Snyder, who created another great show, Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist.
Yeah, we also used to love watching that show.
It was a great show. And this is not the Tom Snyder who had a talk show. He did educational software, and then he invented what they use, Squiggle Vision. Yeah, you remember the Squiggle Vision? It was like this weird super early computer animation style where they kind of move around.
All the lines just kind of wiggled, and eventually they stopped it. Maybe some kids got epilepsy.
I'm not entirely sure. It did actually. Dr. Katz even had a fake band because Dr. Jonathan Katz, the character played by Jonathan Katz, he was a former 1960s folk singer and one half of Koppelman and Katz.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the great things is in the final season, one of the patients was Harry Shearer, who mentioned that he'd heard of Koppelman and Katz. The guy who co-created Spinal Tap played a fictionalized version of himself who had heard of another fake band.
Wow.
There's like a fake bandception levels.
But I think that's quite the Koppelment.
And this is on the show that begat the show the show we will be talking about tonight.
One of the producers, yes, that's right.
The Grandfather Show.
So one of the producers on Dr. Katz was Lauren Bouchard, who we've mentioned before on the show. Along with Home Movies, he created or produced Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil, another great show, Bob's Burgers, and The Great North, which sadly just got canceled.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they just announced it got canceled. So
it's not coming out this year?
No,
that's a shame. I was really getting into that
it's
show.
It's a really fun show. He also created Central Perk.
Well, now I'm bummed.
Yeah, sorry. Which we've actually never mentioned. So we've mentioned all the other ones we never mentioned.
We talked about The Great North.
We didn't talk about Central Perk.
Oh, Central Perk, no.
In the late 90s...
Central Park, not Central Perk.
Park, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah,
Central Park is from where the friend.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. In the late 90s, Bouchard went to an open mic in Boston, and he found this Berkeley College of Music grad named Brendan Small. And Brendan apparently had decided that there was no future in music and that the future was in stand-up comedy. And he did this in the late 90s. So well after the comedy boom. Like his timing is not, I don't think, Brendan Small's forte. Anyway, they created Home Movies, and Small voiced Brendan.
Brendan Small,
Brendan
too,
Small,
right?
Yeah. So Small played Brendan Small. Melissa Barden-Galsky was Melissa.
Okay.
Sounds like a trend here. And H. John Benjamin, we've talked about before. H. John Benjamin was
H. John
Jason.
No. Well, just missed that altogether.
Yeah.
Okay.
Benjamin was also Coach McGurk, and Small did the voice and guitar for Dwayne, who was the metalhead kid. He was like a high schooler who did all the music for the films, including the great Kafka musical they did.
He is from Kafka. Be careful if you get him pissed. From Kafka. He'll smite you with metaphor fists. Right now he can. He's just a man, a warrior of words, taking a stand. He grew up very poor. His feelings to the core. Born in 1883, died in 1924.
Yeah,
That
that's
gets
good.
stuck in my head all the time. I'm just like, he is Franz Kafka.
I think I prefer the PSA they did about don't stick marbles in your nose.
Don't stick my. I think of that now. I have kids. I'm like, I always think about that.
You know,
one, yeah.
that's it's actually a
Yeah.
pretty smart thing. They do need to know that.
Yeah. Another fake band connection in 2007. Small was one of two main voices in the animated pilot Let's Fish. The other main voice was Scott Adsit, 30 Rock's Pete Hornberger.
Wait. The same Pete Hornberger from 30 Rock who had his own Alan Parsons Project tribute band called the Pete Hornberger Alan Parsons Project.
The very same.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, after home movies went off the air in 2004, Small met former Late Night with Conan O'Brien writer Tommy Blacha, and the two of them went to a bunch of metal concerts and ruined their hearing. And they were at night, and then they were pitching show ideas during the day. And then I guess they had like an old school Reese's Peanut Butter Cup moment where they mix their love for metal and their need to make money with animated shows. Metalocalypse was born.
Two great
right.
things that they make it work.
They make it work, yeah.
They make it work.
The show is about the band Dethklok. So it's a metal band that's also the richest, most famous, and most influential band in the world. And they also may possibly be the long prophesized saviors or the destroyers of the world.
It's a little iffy. It
Depending
could go either way.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they've thrown in their small 61 episodes.
There's a lot in there, yeah. To make it even better, the big bad of the series is voiced by Mark Hamill.
Woo.
And one of his subordinates actually is voiced by Malcolm McDowell.
Woo. Who is also a Reggie Wanker, who's a fake band.
I mean, it's like a concerted effort to make the 6 Degrees of Separation game that much easier. You can pull together Star Wars and Clockwork Orange like that. You know, it's amazing. But before we begin, 2 notes that will greatly improve your enjoyment of the show if you do decide to watch it. 1, turn on subtitles.
Yeah.
I'm like an oldster, and I saw a ton of live shows before realizing I needed to be wearing earplugs. I actually went to a shellac show where I was sticking the torn up napkins in my ear that were being held in place, I think, by a little bit of the blood that was coming out. So I missed a whole bunch of jokes in the lyrics the first time I watched it. I rewatched some episodes with subtitles on. I was like, oh, the songs are hilarious.
Yeah, no, I watched them without subtitles, and I'm like, yeah, no, the songs you cannot pick up, and I could not pick up any of the lyrics.
The lead singer,
hardly.
Nathan Explosion, is the lead singer, and it's impossible. He like sings
He does the death metal growl.
The death metal growl. And it's impossible to decipher unless you're like a safe cracker or like a fennec fox or something. I mean, like, it's amazing. And the other thing to know is that the overall plot makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
It's very much,
absolutely. No.
It's like the X-Files, like the overarching story about like black oil and colonists and the big conspiracy. It's incomprehensible. It's like, but the individual episodes are fun, and there's fun bits in each
and occasionally
one.
there is like almost a literal monster of the week.
And honestly, when they get like towards the end and the final movie, I think is the least enjoyable. I mean, I think for people who stuck with it, they liked it. But honestly, I don't know anyone who watched it who was invested in the overarching plot. Like,
and that's what the movie was there to wrap up, which is kind of funny.
Once the plot got kind of going, it was like, I don't know. So, Charles, I know you watched a few episodes. And
I watched some, yeah.
You were not a fan of the blood and guts.
Well, I was trying to binge watch the whole thing so I could write this episode, and it's pretty gory at times. I mean, like, really gory.
Yeah.
I mean, not like continuously throughout the whole episode, but there'll just be this moment where like a fan or, somebody else related to the band just gets brutally killed. I mean, like, people just don't like die off. Nobody dies like off camera. They die on camera. They want to make sure.
And they're spattered with blood. And it's like, you got it on my sweater.
And it's like and it's so cruel and offhanded. Yeah, exactly. And because that's more metal.
I mean, the opening, the pilot episode, they had a French chef on their battle helicopter that they were taking to a special concert, and he gets ground up in the blades, and
of the helicopter,
and they show that,
and then they show his.
Then they bring him back.
Torn apart body later on.
His torn apart body is all on life support, all these different life support machines.
And they put him back together, and he is a recurring character.
Yeah.
Well,
he keeps coming
they were just trying to decide should they put him back together, and they said, well, why don't we learn how to make our own food? Then it goes kind of, we're at the grocery store. And then it's like some weird kind of like regular sitcom-y kind of thing. Like, let's put these death metal guys at a grocery store.
The tone is so weird.
Yeah.
It's like it's all over the place.
So it's either really just as gory and like dramatic as possible,
Yeah.
or then it's just like,
Or it's like, it's like
the wackiest kind of thing,
right?
Yeah.
Or it's like or like they'll have like one of those weird conversations that just goes on too long, and they're just like rambling and getting into like the weird weeds that you kind of get into with your friends, and
things are really brutal. Yeah,
it's kind of funny, but then
yeah,
I mean, the tone can be really
For what
wild.
it's worth, though, it was a very successful show for Adult Swim. I mean,
maybe not for our demographic.
Yeah.
I bet you.
In small doses, I enjoy it.
I mean, it was so successful that HBO selected it as one of the ones it took off streaming for no friggin' good reason as part of the let's destroy our brand move that they're in the middle of. So yeah, I don't know why, but it's like right now you can't stream it. You have to like watch it only on cartoonnetwork.com, which is the only place you can stream it right
where
now.
did I see it? I thought I saw it on, maybe I saw it on YouTube TV or something.
There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube as well, and it's like of questionable
because for the
legality.
longest time, one of the characters, like you had to continue watching, and it was like one of the worst screenshots possible that could be up there. And it'd be like, do I really want to continue watching that?
It never won any animation awards, but the music actually got a ton of attention and like real awards things. And Brendan Small put together a real life version of Dethklok. He toured multiple times from 2007 through 2014 and sold out shows around the world. When the film and the final film in the Death Album 4 came out in 2023, the band toured again, and they just did a series of dates in Australia earlier.
They're still touring.
Yeah, they're still touring, yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of albums, in 2007, the first soundtrack album, the Death Album, it debuted at number 21 on the Billboard 200 chart.
Wow, debuted.
It was the highest charting death metal album ever.
I believe that.
Wow. Okay.
Until 2 years later, when Death Album 2 peaked at number 15 on the Billboard 200 chart.
Okay.
Oh,
great.
that set the record.
Now Death Album 2 was the highest charting death metal album ever.
Okay.
Until 3 years later.
Really?
When Death Album 3 peaked at number 10 on the Billboard
It was a
200.
top 10 album.
10 album. So that makes it the highest charting death metal album ever.
Metalocalypse has the 3 highest charting death metal
Well, wait a
albums.
hold
minute.
on
He's
a
not
second.
done yet.
Oh, sorry.
Death Album 4 came out in 2023 and it did not chart.
Oh.
America's love affair with
Wow, yeah.
Metalocalypse was over.
It was a little bit after its prime, I think.
Yeah, they kind of missed the window.
But the show, very much like This Is Spinal Tap, the show was really popular with real musicians and touring musicians. They would show, and a bunch of them appeared on the show, including, this is an amazing list. James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett of Metallica, Dave Grohl, Steve Vai, Slash of Guns N' Roses, Ace Frehley of Kiss, Thundercat from Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, yeah?
Mike Patton of Faith No More and Mr. Bungle. Bron Daler and Brett Hines of Mastodon, Dweezil Zappa, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, Marty Friedman of Megadeth, King Diamond, Corpse Grinder Fisher.
Is that his given name?
I believe it is actually his given name, yes. Mr. Fisher, like, oh, a little Corpse Grinder. And Jack Black.
We probably need to do that Jack Black show at some
Probably
point.
do,
Yeah, we should do a Jack Black show.
Because like every third episode we mention Jack Black.
Yeah.
He might get into the Hall of Fame.
I think we might have tentatively put him in there already.
I think
I
we
thought we
relisted that
started
episode,
to.
yeah, he's shortlisted for sure.
So let's talk Metalocalypse, the show.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It centers on Dethklok, and they're a 5-member metal band that's the most popular musical group on the face of the planet. And T-Mike actually wrote that sentence, where else are musical bands operating other than the face of the planet? you're like...
The moon, there could be some astronauts orbiting the planet. It could be a moon base. It could be somebody on the moon. You don't know.
All the mole people bands that were, they rock pretty hard.
Well, T-Mike talks about all the intergalactic bands too.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
yeah.
we do
Like,
have-
like a certain band that might be playing in Tatooine somewhere.
Oh, yeah, okay, you got that. You did it. You got it.
You got it in there.
Just in the nick of time.
The band have legions of fans who are ready to kill or die for them.
Yeah.
And the same fans frequently do die for them.
Well, yeah, like we were talking about the first episode,
Yeah.
the stage lands
Lands on
on
them, yeah.
a quarter of the
it
fans.
comes
Yeah.
down from the giant
they're-
helicopters.
They're maimed and killed. They don't care that neither does the band. I mean, when albums are delayed plans, like they deface national monuments, they commit suicide, they threaten to detonate stolen nuclear weapons. Just as a reminder, this is what Dethklok sounds like.
It's like a lullaby.
That's a song called Impeach God, by the way.
Yeah.
So beautiful, so beautiful.
I was curious about their genre, so I looked them up on Wikipedia, and they are, quote, melodic death metal, which is different from symphonic death metal, technical death metal, brutal death metal, and blackened death metal, which sadly is not Cajun death metal.
Oh, no.
It's amazing. What is this?
I haven't paid good money for Cajun death metal.
I think that
Little
would be great,
Zydeco,
yeah.
little Death Zydeco, Zydedeath.
The first song we hear from them is, again, in the first episode, they agree to record a jingle for the Duncan Hills Coffee Company.
Exactly. That's the whole concept.
So the resulting song helps the company completely dominate the industry. And here's a little bit of it.
Catchy.
I just love that the very first song is a jingle.
Yes.
It's a show about a band, and their first song is a jingle.
And it's the only one they do at the concert, and
Yeah.
all these people go to like the Arctic Circle for this concert.
And they're, a lot of them are murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also kills.
That's the tone right there.
Yeah.
I also kills me because I was reading some of like the reviews, because I was trying to get a handle on the music because I don't know anything about death metal. We're from
Melodic death metal.
Yeah,
please.
exactly. We're from a simpler time where metal was about drug abuse and binge drinking and
It's also about
Partying
baking, cherry pie.
sexism and promiscuity, both male and female, and the internal combustion
Safaris?
engines, the occasional
When you
fist
go to the
fight.
jungle and they're welcoming you.
It's a lot. Anyway, that's a simpler time. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. But yeah, so I was trying to get a handle on it, and basically melodic death metal was sort of like an epithet, real death metal people were dismissive of Dethklok as a project because it's melodic death metal.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like two, melodies. Phooey, fie on thee in your melodies.
The whole show came up because Small is actually a metalhead, loves metal, and loves playing metal,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so he just wanted to do this. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess he's not metal enough for, I don't know. So, yeah,
there's
so-
always, there's always gatekeeping and purism.
Yeah.
He's got the top 3 death metal
That's right.
albums.
He's laughed all the way to the bank, baby.
So Dethklok themselves, the band, is just a bunch of self-absorbed, easily distracted, dysfunctional, petty, argumentative idiots.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Small describes them as, quote, like the Beatles, just 1,000 times more dangerous and 1 billion times more stupid, which is
Yeah.
It's a great
I
quote.
guess.
Accurate.
Yeah. They tour in a massive bus the size of an office block. They have a fleet of battleship-sized helicopters. And somewhere on the northern European coast is Mordhaus, which is an enormous castle that they live in. And it's the center of a town also called Mordhaus. And it's on 1 million acres of land. So that means that this band is an independent city-state just slightly larger than the state of Rhode Island. Or, for our Canadian listeners, that's about 3/4 the size of Prince Edward Island.
Okay.
So, if you remember the math from our Canada Day show, that means 33 1/3 more Mordhauses can fit in North Carolina.
Ooh,
And
all right.
it all makes sense if you listen to all the shows. I checked the math, trust me.
You have not checked math in your life.
I checked the math
What's
on this
65 squared?
one. I didn't check that math. I checked the other math.
I ought to teach you how to do that right here.
No,
Teach you how to do math
I'm not.
right now.
Welcome back to the Rocklopedia Math Bandica.
I'd rather listen to the Cantina Band theme again. Can we just do that instead?
No.
Please.
In Mordhaus, the band has total control. So they're the government, they're the police, they're the legal system, the judicial system. Dethklok even has the extraterritorial right to seize people who pirate their music and kidnap, imprison, and torture them. And that's all legal under the, the laws.
Too close to home right now.
I know. They have the 7th largest economy in the world, which is over $3 trillion.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, let's put this perspective a little bit here.
Okay.
Last year, 2024, was all about Taylor Swift and her Eras tour, right?
Right.
Concerts all over the globe, these albums, swag, merch, and whatnot. Plenty of whatnot out there. Not to mention hotel rooms and airline tickets and meals and anything else the concert goers would spend to see the shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's estimated that Taylor Swift's Eras tour, based on concert revenue and economic benefit to the communities where she performed, had a total economic impact of just over $10 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
$10 billion?
$10 billion.
How long did this tour go on?
I mean, for a long time. No,
Yeah, it was a long time,
it
yeah.
not decades. But,
All right.
But so that would rank her in the 150s in worldwide GDP.
Okay, that's
Right.
respectable.
So below
That's
the
probably-
Bahamas, below Laos, below Rwanda, but above Kyrgyzstan and above Monaco.
Above Monaco.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess they don't keep the money
From the
from all the
casinos.
gambling. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what when I looked at the list.
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
So 7th, this band is 7th in the world, right?
That's massive.
Yeah, around $3.5 trillion. I think that's bigger than France. It's bigger than Italy. It's bigger than Canada.
Not Canada.
It's not bigger than California.
Oh,
It's
really?
California on its own is 4th. I just found that out today.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, but Dethklok does have an economic impact of like 300 times that of Taylor Swift.
wow.
I'm trying to imagine 300 Taylor Swifts on tour.
You would.
The members of the band are, well, here, I'll let the show do the intro. You guys get all that?
Could you turn on Killer's captioning for me?
No sense. Never no sense.
Okay.
Was that even in English? I don't even know.
It was all in English. The lead guitarist is Swizgar Squigelf.
I said, was that in English? And you told me yes.
Yes,
You
no,
said yes, it was.
Well, not the names aren't there. So Swizgar is Squigelf.
He's somewhere from Scandinavia.
He's Swedish. He's a Swedish
he is
guitarist.
Swedish,
Yeah.
okay.
Squizgar Squizgelf.
No,
Swizgar Squigelf. He is supposedly the fastest guitar player in the world. He's also a sex addict, and he enjoys picking on the rhythm guitarist Toki Wartooth, by the way. He's voiced by Small, and Small actually also performs all of Squizgar's guitar parts.
Yeah, on the albums, Brendan Small does all the music except for drums.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why not drums?
He can't play drums.
You can't play drums.
He has a good drummer though.
Squizgar Squigelf.
Squizgar.
Okay.
Yeah. So Toki Wartooth.
Toki Wartooth.
Toki
Okay.
Wartooth, yeah. He's a Norwegian rhythm guitarist. He's like a sweet, kind of childlike character who loves life, but somehow he still manages to have all the people who he loves die horribly. That's like a recurring thing. Tommy Blaka does his voice
He's
as well.
the only remotely sympathetic character on the entire show.
He's sweet.
Okay.
Pickles is the drummer.
Pickles.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the major reason to regret that this is an audio-only podcast because he has this red hair that's into like a comb-over mullet dreadlock combo. It's amazing.
it's pretty sweet.
That's the picture stuck on my on the screen, the streaming service. Where it said, "Do you want to continue watching?" I was like, "No, I don't want to see that guy."
He also talks like this.
And our country is experiencing a horrible problem. Nobody is using nickels. Use nickels. Nickels is money too, guys.
Paid for in nickels by the U.S. Department of Treasury.
That's why he's not the lead singer.
But he was the lead singer in another band.
Oh, that's
though.
true.
We'll
I
get to that.
forgot. Oh man, we'll get to that.
I assume that his backstory of being from Tomahawk, Wisconsin was 100% because Small just wanted to do that accent.
Yeah.
It's a fun accent to do. Then we have William Murderface, or as the song would have, Murderface, Murderface, Murderface.
I thought it was Italian. I thought it was Murder Face.
No Murderface.
Okay.
He's voiced by Blaka again. He is the bassist, and even though he's the bassist, they usually mix down his bass or have Squizgar play the parts.
Yeah.
So again, I think that the voice was chosen because it was fun to perform.
I guess I really do have a dog face. Maybe I should throw up and eat it.
That's our Murder Face.
Fun fact, that's what he has is called a lateral lisp. It's caused when too much air flows out along the side of the tongue. You're learning something today. Mm-hmm. And apparently, Blanca had to put paper towels in his mouth to do voice for the first few seasons. So you get
until he got used to it.
Got used to it, yeah. And the show actually touches on the fact that his playing isn't actually used much in the episode Death Sigils. The rest of the band boot him out, but they realize that what they need is not his bass playing, but his crappiness and his negativity, because it helps them find the more brutality of writing their metal songs.
Yeah, I think they had a bad moment when they were recording without him, and they realized they were all happy.
Yeah,
and they were like recording a happy song, and they were like, "Oh no!"
And they needed to be a Murderface here. Small told E-Musician that Murderface is, quote, incredibly sensitive and just wants to be accepted constantly, but he can't get that because such a dick and he pushes people away. So,
accurate.
Yeah. I should also mention his tattoos.
Oh, they're just so stupid.
He has a torso tattoos reading "Po Buddy Nerfic" and this mess is a place, which I love.
Oh my God, why would he do that?
That's what you get. That's what you get on a coffee mug from while you're like, south of the border.
It's because now it's so easy to remove tattoos. People put nonsense like that on there.
That's true.
Back in the day, you couldn't fix tattoos. You were stuck with it, and you wouldn't put Po Buddy's Nerfic on your chest. No. But now, no one cares. Let's put dumb stuff on us now.
It's probably also worth mentioning that in one episode, he plays a bass solo with his genitals.
Is it worth mentioning
So,
that?
well, he has talent.
Of a sort.
Of a sort. Yeah, that's true. So last and most prominent is Nathan Explosion, the lead vocalist. He's possibly the smartest of the group.
I'm glad you changed it from singer to lead vocalist.
I'm not sure why I chose that, but I don't know that he's singing as much as vocalizing.
Fair.
It reminds me of times of Hate Beak or Caninus, the band that has that's fronted by a parrot, Hate Beak, right. Or like a dog and Caninus, and like it sounds more or less the same.
I like how you find, in one episode you meet all their parents and it's Mr. and Mrs. Explosion. It's not a stage name.
It's not a stage name, yeah. So Small voices him using the death metal growl for his everyday speech, which means a lot of his dialogue is fairly hard to follow without the subtitles.
We have something in common. We're all gonna die. No matter what you do, no matter what you do with your lives, you're dead. You're dead. You're dying. You're gonna die, all of you. You lady. Your tits will be eaten by maggots in just a few short years.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. Different, unless you're
it's all
paying
pops
attention.
and whistles over here.
His big catchphrase is brutal, which is his go-to adjective. Mm-hmm. And in the second season episode, Dethkok, he actually gets voted governor of his home state of Florida after Dethklok fans behead the original governor for refusing to create a Nathan Explosion Day. So that gives you a feel for how the show is.
Such a Florida thing, too.
We should also mention a couple of people who I don't know if they count for us, but they're music adjacent. Mm-hmm. There's Charles Foster Oftenson, who's their manager. Mm-hmm. And he's like the straight man. He takes care of all the aspects of the band. He's super efficient, calm, and he's effective. And he's pretty much the opposite of every other fake band manager that we've ever talked about.
Oh, yeah. No, he's like the reason this band is like the 7th largest economy. And he runs a tight ship. He keeps everything moving. He keeps the band happy. It's kind of fun to watch like an actual competent manager.
Because normally, so we said many times, like fake band managers are almost always shown as being idiots.
Yeah, or criminals.
Yeah.
Right.
And Small also voices Dick Magic Ears Nubbler. Good old Dick Nubbler.
Okay.
Are we going to have to start bleeping you, Alan?
Dick Nubbler is not an offensive term. It's just almost one.
So you might keep a finger on that bleep button.
Oh, okay. Will do, boss.
Is introduced in the episode of he's a who's sprung from to help the band record.
T-Mike, give me the button.
Aww.
Okay. As I was saying, the tribunal springs him from jail to let him produce the underwater album Death Water. And when leaving after recording it
in his submarine, they recorded it in his submarine.
Yeah, at the bottom of the ocean, the Marianas Trench.
That's right, Alan.
He gets explosive rapid decompression, and his eyes explode. So then he gets robot eyes for the rest of the appearances, and then later on he gets replaced as a producer by. Well, I'm going to let T-Mike handle this one.
Oh, I hate you. Okay, it's Abigail Ramelta Drink. voiced by Janine Garofalo. Garofalo.
I was wondering which one he'd have trouble with, and I guess it was Garofalo.
Girafalo.
I was actually pulling for Janine. I figured that because it's the unusual.
Oh, no, wait. It's like the animal. Gruffalo.
Gruffalo, yeah.
The Gruffalo.
The Gruffalo.
A big eel.
Anyway, Dick Nubler. He stays on as their engineer.
Okay, so you got to the show has this thing for wacky last names.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Wacky last name.
We'll
people.
see a bunch more of them coming up.
Okay, I think we're getting about to head deep into the weeds here plot-wise, so it's probably a good idea to take a break before we get into this tribunal business and the show's overall plot, if it is, whatever
Such as it is.
Just so stay tuned for more Dethklok and what looks like a billion one-off mentions of other bands.
Yeah, it's got a lot of other little mentions there.
That's why we're talking about them, because
yeah.
there's a ton of fake bands coming. This is the Rocklopedia Fake Bandica.
No, you got to do it like this.
This is the Rocklopedia Fake Bandica! This is the Rocklopedia Bandica!
Okay, so you mentioned the tribunal in the first half. What's that all about? Do I
Yeah.
really want to know? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
What's it all about?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I guess we do need to talk about that.
okay, so the hilarious, the weird, one of the weirder halves of the show. So a show about a heavy metal band like 300 billion times more popular than the Beatles is already a high concept show, but then they kicked it into overdrive because it's not just about the wacky goings on of a band. There's like this whole bizarre
conspiracy theory thing led by a tribunal that has more than 3 people.
Hey.
Which already kind of throws me a little bit. But anyway.
You guys don't play Fortnite, do you?
Not really.
There's kind of a story that goes through Fortnite.
Uh-huh.
And it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I don't even follow
I mean,
it. And everything. The whole game is I go to an island and I shoot people and see if I can be the last one standing.
Yeah.
And
You're there for the fun.
But I die and I go back to the island again and they have a story going through it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
I think the X-Files summation was pretty
this
accurate.
is, if you remember when I talked about that, this is kind of what I was talking. This is the part that doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's a shadowy group of military, business, government, and religious leaders led by the mysterious Mr. Salacha, who has powers. And he's voiced by Mark Hamill, so that's always kind of fun.
who was a Jedi and had powers.
He was a Jedi and had powers. The tribunal brings in this never-ending parade of experts with these ridiculous last names.
Oh, yeah.
They warn about what other idiotic thing the band's doing, but no matter what, Mr. Salacha always advises waiting.
Yeah, it's just
It's like every-
And this is like the tribunal is like in every episode.
Yeah. At the end of season 1, the 2 of the tribunal members, General Crozier and Cardinal Ravenwood, they disobey Salacha and they order an attack on the band at a concert, but they're defeated by the band's forces and also by Salacha, who intervenes, and he kills Ravenwood with his mind, which is
That's a
impressive.
power. That's a power.
And he wipes Crozier's memory.
That's a second power.
And then a third power is that he mind controls the casting director to hire Malcolm McDowell to voice Vater Orlog. It was Ravenwood's replacement. And the last bit may only be Fannin.
Well, it was a good decision on either. Whoever made that decision was a good decision.
Here's what he sounds like.
Master, the band frays before our eyes. This is most unexpected. The prophecy is muddled at this point.
They are weak and broken. They are vulnerable. Now is the time to crush them.
No, what you don't understand yet, General, is that we need them alive. It is time for me to reveal myself and show them my true power.
Talking beforehand, that was Vater Orlog and General Crozier. So those are the kind of the main enemy guys in this thing. Vater Orlog, interestingly enough, he's drawn to resemble kind of a mix of Rasputin and Daniel Corrigano, who was a Romanian priest convicted of killing a nun in a 2005 exorcism. Can I get a the more you know? What? Yeah.
That was oddly specific, Alan.
It is. I was like looking around, I was like, why do they draw him like that? Oh, there actually is a reason. Anyway, along the way, we learned the band may be part of an ancient Sumerian prophecy that'll bring about an apocalypse, hence Metalocalypse.
It all comes together.
And they do bring death and destruction everywhere they go. As we mentioned, part of the series humor is like the juxtaposition of the sitcom idiocy with like just the blood and guts.
Oh yeah.
For example, one of their concerts accidentally awakens an ancient giant troll under a lake, and the troll wreaks destruction until they accidentally defeat it again with acoustic instruments.
Or as they like to say, grandpa guitars.
Grandpa's guitars.
Grandpa guitars.
But a fun side note is the troll, which was just guttural noises, really, was voiced by James Hetfield from Metallica.
That's weird.
Kind of fun.
It's kind of like how Groot is Vin Diesel,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Just like I am Groot kind of the thing.
And as we mentioned, Death Water, which was recorded in a submarine at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, the most metal place to record, it's packaged in a case filled with water and actual living miniature piranhas.
That's right.
So there's a class action lawsuit that's brought against the band when their fans actually obey the lyrics of the song, go into the water and drown. But again, their manager, Charles, managed to get them out of it by pointing out that the album is clearly labeled intended for fish only, and so not meant for human ears.
It's right on the label, people. When you buy that, that's a valid binding contract.
You have to read. You have to read things.
As the show progressed, we got a little bit more backstory on the band members, which means that obviously we learned about their earlier bands. And Nathan, of all the bands, he was in other bands beforehand, but they never really talk about them. There's not a whole lot about them. He doesn't really have any side projects. He's kind of this is his whole life. So Murderface has a more or less one-man side project / band called Planet Piss.
Oh my goodness.
Stay classy, Murderface.
It's first mentioned in the Birthday Face episode from August 20th, 2006, which is an important episode we'll come back to later. But and then in the November 19th, 2005 episode, Death Kids, we get to hear William and producer Dick Nubler recording the song Planet Piss. And that's pretty much the only time he's ever shown working on the project. And I think it's just an excuse to have Blackest say Planet Piss a lot.
Yes, it's just,
With that lateral lisp, it's kind of fun to hear. In Death Sigils, Murderface actually ropes Toki into suing the band for songwriting residuals, even though they don't actually do any songwriting. And it goes to the Supreme Court. They lose. So they try to force their way into the band's songwriting process. They act like jerks, and they get kicked out of the band. So then they're guest as celebrity judges on American Super Talent Havers.
I thought I had trouble pronouncing things.
American Super Talent Havers.
All right, 3 times fast. American Super Talent Havers. American Super Talent Havers. American Super Talent.
And they are impressed with this like kind of rap new metal band that appear on the show called Get the Hence. So they make their own label, Murder Tooth Records, and they're thinking they're going to make a lot of money. But since Murderface is terrible at business, the band walks all over them. But then the band are all heroin addicts. They're too screwed up to play, so they have to record their album for them.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Then the band opened for Dethklok, but then the Dethklok fans, realizing that they're rap new metal band, they hate them immediately. They murder them on stage.
So not the guys who recorded the album for them.
Toki Merchants recorded the album for them, and then
they tried to perform for the
actual band tried to play live, and
then they get killed. Yeah.
Well, they got what they deserved, I'm sure.
Yeah. Toki actually gets pulled into Murderface's fake band orbit. Again, also in Death Record, when they co-write and record this original song called Taking It Easy. Just like the lyrics, I don't know if it comes across in the podcast. You should look up the lyrics. They're just the corniest possible lyrics, but it's in kind of this almost death metal-y style.
They could have just taken the Eagles song, right? It was right there.
That's true, yeah. Dethklok ends up rejecting the song. So Murderface says he's going to keep it for Planet Piss.
Of course he is.
Yeah. And I have to say that they're actually working with Murderface is a big improvement for Toki because at one point in the episode Cleanzo, Nathan Explosion challenges Toki to write one whole complete song, and he can't actually do it. So he's in a band and he can't actually write a song. He does get a side project, kind of. So Toki gets a weird side project in the episode Tribute Clock, which is centered on the fact that the worldwide ban on Dethklok cover bands has been repealed, I guess, by the UN. And we get to meet some of the applicants. Here's Charles going through them.
Let's begin. First, from Boulder, Colorado, Smoothklok, who performs smooth jazz versions of Dethklok songs.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crapsy.
That's the midst, it's brutal, though.
Brutal as in, like, what if I had to listen to this shit?
And this is Lady Clock, an all-female tribute to Dethklok.
No.
Women are physically incapable of achieving brutality. It's just a cruel fact of nature.
That Lady Pickle is pretty cute, though.
That's kind of creepy. No, it isn't. She does have pretty eyes.
From Korea, Dethklok.
No.
The Barber Clock Quintet. No. Clock. Thunder Horse.
No.
Sorry, Toki. Did I hear a yes?
I like some Mexicans.
Wait a minute, are you kidding, Stoggy? Look at them guys.
I think they're pretty cool. They got some...
Wait a minute.
No, that's pretty cool. Let's move on.
Wait, stop the video. Zoom in. Closer. To the right. Right there. That's Toki.
It is, holy
You're in a tribute band paying tribute to yourself? That's like jacking off to a picture of yourself online.
which I've done.
Of course I'm not paying tributes to myself. In Thunder Horse, I'm Squiskar.
That's why my pants and shirts keeps disappearing. That's for weird dudes.
Well, we're really good. We plays every Thursday night.
Wait a minute.
Thursday night? That's impossible. You have astronaut class on Thursday night.
Astronaut class is a lie! I've been telling everyone that you're gonna be an astronaut! Now you're making me look like an asshole!
No, wait, give us a chance. Come see us play.
So we have Smoothklok, Lady Clock, Dethklok, Barber Clock. The bleeped one was Christ Clock, I believe. And then, of course, and as we heard, Toki plays Squizgar in the Dethklok cover band Thunder Horse. And so this is a running gag in the show, is that Squizgar always overshadows him. He cuts down all of his guitar work, so it's kind of a play on that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that he's in a Dethklok cover band in the first place, but he's not even playing his own character.
Well, yeah, he had aspirations, you know? After Dethklok sees Thunder Horse play, they decide they want to go back to their roots more and end up booting out the cover band members and taking their places inside.
Oh, really? So Dethklok, they're also the members of Thunder Horse now.
So this is them firing them.
All right, how about this? You guys got about 5 seconds to get out of here, then the beatings begin. 5.
Get out! Scream!
4.
Even me?
3.
No. You're special. We need you. Just kidding. Yes, you too, Pugnose. Scram-a-rooney onto that door. Go ahead.
Get out of here!
The best part about that clip is that they hired the real Slash to say the line, even me. Just that little tiny thing. He plays Billy Butterface, who's the Murderface analog. The other members are Norman Blowup, Tukey Wolfpaint, Pockles,
okay.
and then just Squizgar Squigolf. So Toki even took his name.
Oh, that's brutal.
That is very brutal. Speaking of Squizgar, in the Snakes and Barrels episode of September 24th, 2006, Squizgar lists off a bunch of his former bands: Agnostic Priest, Gangagar, El Deli Del Alel, Gognog Mug Alugdug, Sausage Assassin, Financially Raped, Smugly Dismissed, and Base Academy.
You know, Gognog Mug Alugdug, that might actually be, I'm not 100% certain, that might be 2 bands.
It's possible, yes.
Might be Gognog Mug and then Alugdug or Gognog and Mug Alug. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait for the Criterion Collection to put out like a book with all the scripts, I think.
We're not coming back to this. No, this is the one time we talk about Dethklok.
Only
Squizgar actually transcends, his bands transcend the show, because IGN.com did an interview with Small in character as Squizgar in July 2006, and he mentioned that he was in a Harry Potter tribute band called 10 Points to Gryffindor, which is a pretty good name, and a nudist Civil War style band called Depancification Proclamation.
Well, that's the dumbest thing.
And finally, we have Pickles the drummer, Doodly Doo, Ding Dong Doodly Doo, as the song goes. His first band was Snakes and Barrels, and that's actually a big band in the show. He was the singer and the lead guitarist, and they were this enormously successful glam metal hard rock band in the 80s and 90s. They broke up at the height of their popularity due to drugs and alcohol and the pressures of fame. So they're essentially a parody of Guns N' Roses with a little bit of Motley Crue and some Van Halen for flavor. The band was Pickles on vocals and lead guitar, Sammy Candy Nose Twin Skins on drums, Antonio Tony DeMarco Thunderbottom on bass guitar, and Snizzy Snaz Bullets on rhythm guitar.
His first name is Snizzy, and his nickname is Snaz.
Yeah.
Snizzy wasn't good enough for him.
No.
He needed to be Snaz as well.
I do think if you're given the name Thunderbottom, I think is that nominative determinism there?
Yeah,
you
a little
have
bit.
to play the bass. Their big hit album was No Time for Annie Venom, but when they reunite with Pickles in the Snakes and Barrels episode, in their first reunion concert, the band freaks out on the drug Totally Awesome Sweet Alabama Liquid Snake, and they break up again.
You got to watch out for that stuff.
Yeah. The double live album, that concert is a big hit, and even Nathan has to admit that it's brutal. So here's a little clip of it.
Snakes and bears are gonna wreck you! 2, 3, 4.
I don't know, 2 hours of somebody, of a band like freaking out on drugs on stage with guitars feedback. It's a good time.
Snakes and Barrels 2 episode, the band reunites again, but this time without Pickles, and with new lead singer Ricky Kicks. So very much a Motley Crue. Yeah. He's the one who helped them get clean of alcohol and drugs because he runs the Ricky Kicks Kickin' It Rehab Center. He's clean and sober, and he wants everyone to get off drugs and alcohol, not because it's a good thing, but because he wants everyone to be as miserable as he is. He hates being sober, and he wants the world to be miserable too, which is not a bad motivation. So they hold the Sober Town USA No Drugs Allowed Sober Rock and Roll show. Pickles gets mad that they didn't reunite. They reunited with them. They didn't tell him. He sneaks backstage to confront them. The band does the show, but because there are still traces of Totally Awesome Sweet Alabama Liquid Snake in their fat cells, the loud music and pyrotechnics and bright lights, they trigger a reaction where glowing blue phosphorescent snakes come out of every orifice.
As one does.
Yeah. Pickles takes advantage of the distraction to beat Ricky Kicks to at least to unconsciousness, possibly to death.
Oh.
So, yes.
It's not clear.
Kind of like the end of Hustle and Flow, right?
Yeah, exactly. A nice little callback ties back to the Thunder Horse episode because the fired members actually
Of Thunder Horse.
They started a Snakes and Barrels cover band.
Oh, really?
Called Serpents and Containers. And Snakes and Barrels 2 also, that episode also includes mention of Frankie Switchblade and his band Super Destroyer Machine.
You're really enjoying the bleep sound effect today, aren't
we
you?
kind of have to. It just reminds me of how when you found that clip from a certain band of jizz whalers.
Oh, you mean this?
No.
In one episode.
We already did that.
Well, if I had read the script ahead of time, we would only done it once.
Fine.
That episode also mentions a bunch more bands, including...
Wait, are we keeping track of how many bands we've done already?
It's a ton of them.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
a lot
we've
in
got at
the
least
show.
20 so far,
There's
right?
at least a couple dozen, yeah.
Are they all in the database?
I think most of them.
If you take them all out of the database, we only have like 2,000 bands in this database.
No.
There's Susie Fat Tits and the Razor Clan. They practice in a dumpster.
Of course they do.
Razzle Sticks, and the only thing we know about them is that Timmy Razzle died from an overdose.
I have 45 bands listed for Metalocalypse,
including Andy Smacks. He got a high in angel dust and fell off the Capitol Records building. So, the episode also gives us a little short sample of a glam band named Manhattan Sidewinder. And while we're talking about minor characters, we have to talk about Mashed Potato Johnson. So he was actually one of the standouts. One of the episodes worth watching just because of how ridiculous it is. He's an elderly Mississippi bluesman who helps Dethklok when they get the blues in the Blues Clock episode. He guides them on a tour of Mississippi to help them understand how the blues can be just as brutal as metal. And he tells them the little life stories of a bunch of Mississippi bluesmen.
This here where the blues began. Right here where we stand in Blind Hall in Davenport. Kill his wife. Bury her on that chicken coop right there. That night he recorded wife gone on a funeral train blue. Next morning, the police shot him in the eye 52 times. This is where Smokey Toe Brown was savagely beaten for sleeping with his neighbor's wife. Shortly before he recorded Train Leave This Station Blues. They say his ghost come back to life and kill his neighbor. Everybody knows Shorty Turning Top made a deal with the devil. He was hit by a train at this exact spot. As his head traveled in the air, he wrote Blues, Train Blues.
All they sings about is trains.
Is there anything else really to talk about? This here's where Mustard Tits, the murder master Brown, slaughtered 22 men just for being ugly. He went on to record, Here Come That Train Coming Blue.
Brutal. Why everything has to be about trains.
Everything's a train.
Also in the minor category.
And they actually write a train song.
They do, yeah.
For that episode.
Yeah.
I think it was Murder Train or something.
Also in the minor character category, we have to mention Sergio Pompenheiser, who was a guitar teacher who created an acoustic guitar with a handcrafted plastified cord you can actually stand on.
Ooh, look, he's actually standing on it.
He shows up on a shopping channel that was shown in the Dethklok episode. And weirdly, he's mentioned in a lot of fan fiction. When I searched for him online, there was a bunch of fan fiction that came up with that name.
For this random Sergio Pompenheiser guy who made a...
He's in the episode for like 30 seconds.
I would explain it, except I didn't want to read any of this fan fiction.
No, I wouldn't read any.
Enough.
Once again, I blame 4chan.
Yes.
No Metalocalypse fan fiction. No.
So in November 12th, 2006 episode Religion Clock, Murderface has a near-death experience when Nathan Explosion is driving their car. They have a motorcycle with 4 sidecars, and he gets thrown out.
So the whole band can go.
The whole band can go.
This is probably one of the running gags that they don't never address. But it's like they're a band. They have their own giant mansion, but they all live together and under the same roof, basically. Like no band ever does ever, even when they're rich and famous.
I don't know. Maybe they do when they're poor.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
more so when they're poor than when they're rich.
Anyway,
but in Religion Clock, we see Prayer Bolt, who's a Christian rock band. Then Toki tries to start a Christian rock mosh pit, and the lead singer gets impaled.
Like he didn't get crucified.
Yeah. Toki brings us another fake musician, Dimneld Selfkark.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What is that again?
Dimneld Selfkark.
Dimneld Selfkark.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's a guitar master. He's not actually Swedish or Norwegian or anything.
No, he's
Southern, actually, weirdly. He's a guitar master, but he has one of those guys who puts, like, I teach lessons on flyers on guitar poles.
Oh, okay.
On telephone poles. Toki's tired of being overshadowed, so he takes lessons in the Death Lessons episode. And of course, Selfkark ends up dying too, but not violently, which is kind of a nice change. And weirdly enough, he's voiced by Ron Perlman.
Oh, wow.
Doing kind of a weird Southern accent. It's
all right.
Just, Selfkark actually gets mentioned again in the Death Dad episode of July 13th, 2008. And that episode also includes Dethklok, the amateur band of Toki's childhood friend Runke Schnag, who works at the Drep du Selve record store.
That's a beautiful name for a band.
Yeah.
That for those of you playing along at home, that actually means horse penis.
What?
And the store's name is Bad Norwegian for kill yourself. It's actually kill you self, but I'm assuming that Norwegian is hard to conjugate or whatever.
Are there a lot of like Norwegian in jokes in this show?
There are some like little weird metal like jokes only death metal fans.
I do
will get
say
in there.
Shout out to the fandom Metalocalypse fan wiki. There's a lot of information in there, so a shocking amount. Toki also brought us more fake bands in the Death Camp episode of June 10th, 2012. He's the little Norwegian gift that just keeps on giving and also killing everything that he loves. So Toki goes to the Rockaroony Fantasy Camp. Wow-wee, the Rockaroony Fantasy Camp. And it's a place where, as Pickle says, like regular dildos can hang out with rock stars.
Wait, he goes to I'm only half listening to the show right now, but isn't he a rock star?
Yeah, he goes to make friends.
He's so cute and sad.
Yeah, it's a little sad, but and so at the camp are a bunch of B and C level rock musicians as counselors.
Good. More musicians.
Yeah, more of them.
Ready, time!
It's worth noting Magnus Hammersmith, the last one. He was actually Dethklok's first rhythm guitarist, but he got kicked out for being too violent and chaotic.
Too violent for Dethklok.
Yes. The camp is part of his revenge plot against the band. He's voiced by Mark Maron, the comedian, which is great. Yeah, he shows up several times.
I did not expect him to be the
He shows up quite a few times in the show. We also, in that same episode, there's 2 named campers who I think would count for being in the Rockopedia.
Yeah, because the campers actually play.
Okay. So we have Greg, who's a blues guitarist because he does have a blues, and Ludwig, who's a metal guitarist, and he's kind of a jerk. And he's actually voiced by Kim Thale from Soundgarden.
Wow, there's all kinds of guests. And they're just little tiny parts,
Tiny.
too.
He has like one line.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Toki's camp, and he probably, knowing Small because the way they recorded it, he probably didn't even do the guitar. Kim Thale didn't play. I'm assuming that I think Small does all the guitar parts because it's easier for him to do it all at once. So,
or it might also be just a rights thing. You can't just have like a star under contract show up and play.
That's true. Thing. Yeah. So Toki makes a quartet in the band because he has maybe with his little friends at the camp.
Well, all the campers have to form a band.
A little band, called Twisted Daisy, and it's 3 with him with 3 other no-name campers, and they play Mustang Sally, but we don't actually ever hear it.
They do.
All of this is leading up to the final fake band that we have to talk about. Is by far one of the show's standouts.
Oh yeah,
he's a one-off character introduced in Birthday Face, which
originally a one-off character.
August 20th, 2006. Yeah, he was just like completely just a tiny little character, but they kept coming back to him. He's a birthday clown hired to entertain a Murderface
rock and roll birthday clown.
Party. Yeah, and he was hired by the Tribunal to get info on Mordhouse. We're talking about Dr. Roxo.
Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. I do cocaine.
That was I saw the episode, this first one. He's so weird.
It's so weird. Dr. Roxo, real name Leonard Rockstein. He's a fairly transparent and wildly unflattering parody of former Van Halen frontman David Lee Roth.
Oh, absolutely.
All I could figure is like Brendan Small hates David Lee Roth with the burning passion of 1,000 white-hot suns.
He knows that, from what I understand, I've seen the interviews with him. David Lee Roth has got a pretty good sense of humor about himself. I think I could see him thinking this was pretty funny.
But this is kind of way over the top.
And the more they use his character, the worse he gets.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's just like keep pushing into it.
He was the former frontman of hard rock band Zaz Blammy Mataz, and it was named after the lead
guitarist.
Again
in the 80s.
Yeah, lead guitarist Bink Bonk Blammy Mataz. Just like Van Halen after Eddie Van Halen. The other members are Razzie. Well, I'm assuming that's Razzie Blammy Mataz.
Yeah. I would think so.
And Snowball, who's on drums. Yeah, so he ended up getting kicked out of the band and having a short-lived solo career. That's kind of just a gigolo.
Yeah.
The Cleanzo episode also introduces Dr. Jonathan Twinklelettis, which is
Twinklelettis.
Twinklelettis. It's spelled Twinkle Tits.
No, it's
Twinklelettis.
Twinklelettis
Of the Amazlingtons, who was apparently like a 60s kind of 70s folky kind of nice band. He's now a therapist. He helps Roxo quit drugs and record the song Goodbye Snowy Road. Rox's last major role is in the Death Zaz episode of 2010. After 20 years, Zaz, Blammy, Mataz get back together. And right before they have their reunion concert, he comes out on the news that Roxo had sex with a minor.
What?
Yeah. So he breaks down. He decides to commit suicide the only way a rock and roll clown can, with cocaine.
Well, that checks out.
The band gets him back just long enough to do one song, and then Toki accidentally sets everything on fire.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yes. Yeah, I know. It's the tone and just like the veering from as ridiculous as like, I'm a rock and roll clown, I do stalking to having like child sexual assault. Like, God, what are you doing there? Yeah.
That first time I saw him, I'm like, wow, that is just.
Yeah.
It was like that. It does seem a lot like David. If you didn't even know, it was definitely David Lee Roth. You're like, this kind of seems a lot like David Lee Roth.
Sure does.
There's a lot of like when you're in research, like, the motivations behind like the parody and the satire, and there's a lot of people, especially like the Spinal Tap people, are like, well, we're just very, we love these things we're making fun of. We're just gently nudging them. We're like, and then every once in a while though, you just get the impression that like it's completely opposite. Like right here, like, no, I just loathe and despise this thing, and I'm not just gonna satirize it. I'm gonna make this like a straw man for everything I hate. It's just like, wow.
I like Brendan Small, and I would hate to think that he was a Van Hagar guy. So my choice is to believe that it was done with love.
I mean, that pound cake video was pretty spectacular back in the day.
Man.
I love my baby's pound cake.
All right, this band, it's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
No.
But life isn't all sunshine and learning about Canada and math. There's a dark underbelly that needs to be scratched.
How is math sunshiny and the good
Don't
thing?
make me teach you how to do the squares of 5.
I'm not doing it.
That's it. 65 squared. This is how you do it, T Mike. Pay attention. You're going to learn something right now.
Oh.
6? What's one above 6?
7.
What's 6 times 7?
A number that's
42?
4225.
30.
That's all you need to do.
What?
If
What'd
you're
you just
squaring
do?
a number that ends in 5.
Yeah.
What do
Right.
you mean end in 5?
Like 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you square 35.
We're going to square 35.
So any number you're squaring with ends in a 5.
So that would be
Right.
1225?
It would be 1225. Exactly.
Whoa.
Look at that. Alan, you caught on like that.
Wow.
So wait, what did you just do?
It's called mathemagics, my friend. You take a number, like let's say 15. Okay, you want to square 15. Okay. So what, you got 1.
Yeah.
1, and what's 1
2.
greater? 2 times 1.
2.
225.
Wait, where'd you get the 2 from? The other 2.
The 25?
It says 25.
Wait, where'd the
They
25?
all end in 25.
You squared 5.
We're squaring the 5.
Oh, okay. So you square the last number and add it to the sum.
Well, that's the way this
the
goes. You
product
just
of the
remember it's 25.
Dude.
We should probably put like a slow fade out over this part.
You probably should. But in case anybody's still listening, I'm Charles. There's Alan.
See you later.
There's T Mike. Farewell. And this has been the Rocklopedia Fake Bandica. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to the Rocklopedia Fake Bandica, a production of the Van Gogh Sketch Comedy Group. The hosts are Alan Benson, T. Mike Childs, and Charles Rempel. Our editors are Alan Benson and Charles Rempel. Please be sure to subscribe to the Rocklopedia on your service of choice so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a review or email us at fakebands@vgg.com. And don't forget to visit fakebands.com and the mothership, vgg.com. Thanks for listening.